Alright, it's July 5th, 2 in the morning. I want to make a video about this. So I'm documenting everything that's going on around here. And I filed this July 4th, 4th of July. There's me, Tasha Teeling, at me.com, 724, Office of State Attorney, 6th Judicial Circuit, Pasco County. This is my case number. Inquiry regarding the state's petition to plead absentia and capias. Keep in mind, I am not a lawyer. I mean, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not an attorney. I've had to learn all this shit myself. This is, it's wild. So to whom it may concern, I'm writing regarding the above referenced criminal matter to which I am the named defendant. As a court, at the court's most recent communications, anyone hasn't been here, I've had a criminal trial for being beat up by a champion MMA fighter. That's a piece of crap. I've been charged with getting beat up, but they say I beat somebody up. And you'll never get a trial where you're just presumed guilty, and you are guilty till the end of time, no matter what. And we'll get into the minutia of this in a second. Maybe I'm not keeping up. So, at the court's most recent communications, I was informed that I should consider filing another motion to quash the Senate capias or enter a plea in absentia. However, I have serious legal and ethical concerns about how the suggestion was made and the consequences it poses on me as an unrepresented, indigent, and disabled defendant. I am seeking clarification as to the state's official position on the following points: whether the state has offered or would consider accepting a plea in absentia, whether the state supports or opposes any motion to quash the Senate capias, whether the state views the judge's guidance on these matters as appropriate or as an improper attempt to practice law from the bench. The court recently issued an order explicitly threatening me with contempt should I file anything further. As a result, I am unable to safely respond to the court's invitation to file a motion or a plea. I have attached sort of filed Exhibit B to illustrate the retaliatory environment I'm now forced to navigate. It's always been retaliatory. They want me in jail. They want me gone. They hate me with every fiber of their being. And I don't know what I did, but they've hated me for years and years, if not since the second I was born. In addition, I was previously advised in writing by my 8th court-appointed attorney, Amber H. Patwell, not to communicate. And to get off this is not legal advice. There's no protected information here. This conforms to all of YouTube's terms of service and community guidelines. This is public record. It's for educational, informative, and newsworthy purposes. Where was I? Alright, so yeah, in addition, I was previously advised in writing that my 8th court-appointed attorney, Amber H. Patwell, not to communicate directly with the Assistant State Counsel. In a message dated October 3rd, 2023, it's 2025 now. This has been on almost 4 years. She warned that any such contact could be used against me, and that I would waive attorney-client privileges. You can't waive attorney-client privileges if they don't give you an attorney. It's guaranteed by the 6th Amendment and the 14th. So, despite the legal advice, I'm now left with no alternative but to contact your office directly. The court has blocked my ability to file motions, refuse to appoint new counsel, and create a scenario in which the only available point of contact is the opposing county or the opposing party. This places me in an unprecedented position of being forced to navigate a criminal prosecution without representation, while the court effectively delegates legal dialogue to the prosecuting attorney. The prosecuting attorney has become my legal counsel. I have to go through my sworn enemy that's trying to put me in jail. They've been appointed to me. I have to get his permission, like a slave. The guy that's going to hang me, he's trying to hang me. It appears that the state is being functionally treated as my surrogate counsel without my consent, without confidentiality. There's no attorney-client privilege. This is the guy that is trying to get rid of me. I totally understand this, but I don't think a lot of people are going to understand this. This is sick. Without my consent, without confidentiality, and in clear violation of the 6th Amendment and my 14th Amendment rights. They don't exist. We just celebrate 4th of July. I didn't celebrate it because this is what I was dealing with all day. I'm not waiving my rights. The communication is a good faith inquiry. It's not good faith. I don't have any. These people, their faithfulness is out the window. Made under duress and should not be interpreted as abandonment, refusal to comply, or waiver of defense. I remain open to engage in a lawful, constitutionally sound process, does not violate my rights or further endanger me. This should have been dismissed a long time ago. It should have never happened. I was beaten up. Everybody knows it. So it's me. So I put Exhibit A. This is from Amber Powell, my lawyer that spent almost 2 years in jail. A year, 2 years? I'm not sure. That was caught with all sorts of illegal drugs. That wasn't charged for it. That's on felony probation now. And she has another court case coming up about perjury. That tried to get me put in a mental hospital. She said I was incompetent. Do not attach Mr. Pollard. This is Amber Powell. Do not attach Mr. Pollard to any emails. It should seem counterintuitive to not communicate with the assistant state attorney when you have a pending case he's pursuing charges on. But in the event, if it is not, you're intentionally emailing him, anything you write in the emails can be used against you, and it will. But now I'm forced to email this guy? I'm forced to communicate with him? What's going to be used against me? I'm a disabled, homeless, LGBT person. So sit out in the middle of nowhere. With no help, no support, no legal counsel, no nothing. I gotta take on a state attorney that's been appointed as my counsel? That everything has to go through him? That the judge has sided with? Anything writing else can be used against you. He's not allowed to communicate with you. And he hasn't. I was forced to email him a month or two ago. He never got back to me. And I CC'd like 5 people in there from the state attorney's office. Never got back to me. And I put in a motion saying the judge, or to the judge, that this prosecutorial non-response. And we'll get down to it. They're saying, I'm holding this case up. They're holding this case up. It should have never existed in the first place. It's sick. So yeah, he's not allowed to communicate with you, and most likely will delete the emails. They're going to read every bit of it. They won't reply. But if you just read them, there's nothing good that can come out of the situation. So I've been forced to deal directly with the prosecutor, functioning as my counsel, and nothing's good's going to come out of it. She's right. Further, you're waiving your attorney-client privilege when you include any other person in our communications. We are reset for November 28, 2023 at 1:30. When I get the discovery, we can set up an appointment in my office to review. She don't have an office. This lady was in jail at that time, or around that time. This is a year and a half later. She doesn't have discovery. My own attorney doesn't have discovery. I still don't have discovery. It's over 3 years now. And this is from the judge. this new judge, one recused himself, and we got a new judge who's want to nail me to the wall because he's fair and impartial. Absolutely not. This matter having come before the court, the court's own motion, the court made its own motion and held a hearing on its own motion. And the court, having reviewed the filings, came in the court file. The court, the judge, and maybe the prosecutor, I don't know, I'm not an attorney, made its own motion to itself and held a hearing on it in my absence about me. Defendant in this matter is engaged in an ongoing pattern of behavior which appears primarily intended to occupy and waste a limited time resources of the judiciary. It's been almost 4 years. I'm doing this. I'll pull out cards. I am homeless. I am disabled. I'm an LGBT person. And I'm... What else can you add to that? Clerk of Court, Office of the State Attorney, and many various court-appointed counsel in this matter. Court counsel is on drugs. Court counsel that's married to judges. Court counsel that are strippers that have pending lawsuits against them. Court counsel that's married to judges that are making Forbes magazine. Making Forbes magazine for prescribed medicine for the bench. Attorneys that they're suing police over the DC madam that killed her, or I gotta be careful there. That author herself that they didn't want the police to show the photographs of it. It's wild. So yeah, it runs unresolved for almost 40 months. I don't control the court. Well, obviously, I don't control the court. Additionally, this matter has been in KP assessed for a prolonged period. Based on the findings of this court, the defendant, they don't even know how to spell. They don't know grammar. The defendant. There's hammering the shit out. They double spell shit. It's hereby ordered. They've ordered me to adhere to following limitations. I'm going to be limited. Why am I limited? On filings, the defendant may file a motion to withdraw capias, which may be heard in accordance with the court's practice and procedures. Which means I got to go there, and they're going to throw me under the jail, and I'll never get out. I looked at the practice and procedures. The defendant may file a plea in absentia, provided the disposition contained therein has been approved by the Office of the State Attorney. A plea in absentia, from what I can gather, I'm not an attorney, means I have to either plead no contest or guilty. And I tried to withdraw my plea before because it wasn't knowing, intelligent, and done without legal counsel. But now I gotta go to the guy that's trying to put me in jail and change my plea to guilty or no contest so they can have a hearing without me, a trial without me. It has to be approved by the guy that's trying to put me in jail. And finally, a motion or order which has been previously approved by this court. There's never been a motion approved by the court that I've done. It's just withdrawals from these attorneys. 12 of them. There is a 1 in trillions chance of anyone having 12 attorneys. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. 1 in trillions chance. This prohibition, I'm being prohibited, does not apply to filings made by members of the Florida Bar on behalf of the defendant. So I do not get a public defender. I have to use a state prosecutor. But if I could rustle up 40, 50, 100 grand, whatever it may be, to hire an attorney that's a member of their bar card mafia, then it'll be accepted by a fellow bar card mafia person like this Judge Joseph Justice that has a bar card. So I can't get a public defender and I can't afford an attorney. I can't be heard. It has to be a bar card member before. Where's my freedom of speech? Where are my 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 6th, 14th Amendment rights? It doesn't matter here. Do you guys realize how serious this is? I've been stripped of every right that this Constitution guarantees us. A piece of shit paper. Wake up. I'm going through hell. And my family sees this. And they're the whole problem of this thing. They're what started all this shit. And then it says, the clerk of court is directed to reject all future pleadings that fail to comply with this order. I'm not allowed to file anything. The clerk of court can reject is ordered to reject anything I send to them. Rejected. And they're going to be complicit in denying my rights. To redress my government for grievances. They've been ordered to reject me trying to receive a fair and speedy trial, which is never going to happen. I've asked for it 5, 10 times already. You're not going to get it. My right to an attorney, you're not going to get it. The defendants advise any failure to comply with this order may result, may be subject to the court's contempt orders powers, which means they're going to issue additional criminal charges against me for defending myself. I was beat up by the same kid that beats me up all the time, dragged around the floor, covered in bite marks, and they are going to fucking put me under the jail. These people have been targeted by the sheriff for a decade now because my trustee kept calling them, and they fell for it. And now they got to bury me over this? There's no justice. This is sick. Ordered a judge that any and all future findings of the defendant shall comply with this order. The clerk of court is directed to reject any pleadings, so they got to say that again. Which comply with these restrictions. Why are my rights restricted? Why can't I get a trial? Why can't I get a lawyer? They deemed me as a slave. If they deemed me as a slave, they deemed you as a slave. This is outrageous. If people don't understand it, I just display it to you. I've showed you exactly what's going on. And I've talked about this to excess. They are trying to bury me. For what? Why do they hate me like this? You don't have to like my face. You don't have to like who I am. I'm an American. Apparently I'm not American. Chime in with your comments. Tell me how this is allowed. They don't care about any of the. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about you, your rights. My problems are your problems. They're trying to make an example out of me for being beat up by some psychotic kid. They're trying to bury this trust fund shit. This is crazy. There's much more to come.